Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name's Rob with Red Saber Games. I'm going to be doing a quick video on some accessories that I've used within my time playing card games, and I kind of felt like this would be a lot of good information for people who are maybe just getting into cloth play mats or two-player mats in general. And so, yeah, I mean, there's really not a whole lot to say after that. I guess I'll just kind of go over some of my favorites and which ones I am not too fond of, but we're gonna go ahead and start with Spellgrounds. Everybody knows who they are, KB Games, the people who started the trend, pretty much the pioneers of cloth playmats, I guess you could say. The ones that I do have available from them right now are both of the V8 fabric. This is the lavender that they just released not that long ago, and let's see, I get a good picture of that for you right there. So this is the lavender. They did kind of stray away from the stitch edging. I guess they were getting a lot of people saying that they didn't really like that, and so they went with laser cut edging instead. The only issue with laser cut though that I have is that if you look on the back, you can see that there are like burn marks, and the edges themselves are actually really, they kind of feel like rough. I don't know how else to explain it. Other than that though, the mat itself feels great. I do like the feeling of the cloth. There's no like directional pull on it, so whichever way you decide to like swipe cards or anything like that, it feels good. I don't know what they did though between this one and this one. The backing they used or the glue or something just feels really different. Like the lavender mat itself feels more cardboardy. It's like more stiff. And this V8 that they did, the brown or the tan, this one's actually really nice. It folds really well, and it doesn't have the same stiffness that this one does. So I don't know what they did between this one and this one, but I definitely prefer the one with the stitch edging compared to the one that doesn't have stitch edging. But that's just a personal preference. Other than that though, the cloth still feels really nice. Obviously everybody's chasing the V1 dream. Everybody wants that feel. Just because, well, personally, I also think that the V1 feels the best, but that's just me. I know some people prefer the V2 or the V3. There are some like V4 lovers out there, but pretty much it with the Spellgrounds. You can't really ever go wrong with them. Stay away from V7 though. V7. Next up, I have one here from Grimoire Accessories. The art is awesome. I'm a big fan of the art. I really like the way this looks. It's actually a pretty big mat itself. Has lots of play space, and the color, I mean, I'm just a big fan of the color. Green's my favorite color. The mat itself, I don't know how to explain it. It has like a little bit of a fuzz to it, but from playing on it, I haven't had any issues with any kind of like directional pull or anything like that. Like it doesn't really have like bad pile, I guess you could say. So no matter how you decide to play on the mat, the cards are going to slide over it really well, and you're not going to get that weird feeling of like dragging across the mat, I guess. I guess that's the best way to explain it. But Grimoire Accessories, I think, really nailed it with this one. I do really like the material. I love the design. I'm a big fan of like dark fantasy or fantasy type stuff, so I really like this one. Also, this one's kind of on like the, I would say, the cheaper end of the mats. I think for this one I paid like 50 or 60 bucks, whereas like for the Spellgrounds, going back to this one really quick, these I believe retail for about 75 or 80 if I'm not mistaken. So after tax and shipping and stuff, they kind of get up there a little bit. So just know that if you are also looking for price points, the Spellgrounds are going to be a little bit on the higher side compared to like some of the other mats. But Grimoire, awesome job. You should also check them out and look at their deck boxes. Those things are really sick. So I'm trying not to make this like too long of a video, just because I feel like a lot of people who are going to watch this probably already know about a lot of these. This one's a new edition. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the material, or it was printed by Pyramid. This was a third-party artist who did a Kickstarter for a custom that they had. I was lucky enough to be one of the people who got onto it. But this material here is actually really nice. I believe it's the alley suede or the snow or something like that, and then they just kind of like print on top of it. As you can see though, this one does have like a little bit of directional pull on it. It's not that bad. So like, yeah, you can see how it's like changing color. I don't know if the camera's really picking that up, but this one does have a little bit of a pull, a directional pull on it on this side only. Actually, funny enough, on the frog side, it doesn't have it at all. So I don't know how they were able to pull that off, but it could just be because of the ink, I'm assuming. Now, the one thing with Pyramid is that Pyramid has a ton of different fabrics. So that's kind of only my one issue with Pyramid, is that you're never 100% sure of what you're gonna get as far as like the feel of the cloth, because they do so many like prototypes or one-ofs or anything like that. So you have to know what cloths you like before you purchase it. And the only way that you're gonna know that is if you have a friend who has one, or if you happen to come across somebody who has one and they know what type of cloth it is. Like I said, this one I believe is the Ali Suede, which is just a base white and then they like print on top of it. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the AX one, which is their exclusive that they released for Anime Expo, I believe this one's Eden cloth, which this one I'm a huge fan of. I really like the feel of this one. It's really soft. It's a little bit plushy. It doesn't really have any pile or anything like that, directional pull that I can, oh, actually it does, going down this way. But it's not like egregious. It's not really that bad. The only issue that I've ever had with Pyramid is that the ink, I don't know how they do their inking process, but the ink sometimes will start to crack. So it looks like that this might be more screen printed than it is like sublimation, or like a direct to fabric kind of print. So just beware that if you do buy anything like Pyramid or anything that has like screen print, it is possible that it could crack. Like, I don't know if you can actually see this, but like, yeah, you can see how it's like cracking really bad.
Yeah, I got it.
So just so you know, like, that is something that could happen. So just be aware that if you buy anything like this, and it's not just this mat either, there are a lot of other Pyramid mats that have this type of printing on it, that I also own, that do crack. So buyer beware that if you are going to purchase a Pyramid mat and it is in this style of print, that it's very possible that the ink will crack and it could possibly wear off the mat as well. I know Boneyard is also another popular fabric of theirs, but like I said, the only thing with Pyramid is I just don't like to gamble on hoping that the mat I purchase off of their website is going to be something I like, because I don't want to get stuck with something I don't. And that's pretty much it. But other than that, I mean, Pyramid stuff is pretty good. You just have to know which ones you want to buy. Also, their price point is a little bit on the high side, I would say. Usually it's anywhere about $80 plus. And if you're looking for anything like really good, you're spending upwards, I've even seen of like $200. So just know that Pyramid is going to be a little bit on the pricier side. Cool. Now, a lot of people may or may not know about this one, but I was actually stuck on this one for a while. So this one's actually made by somebody called or named Joshua Paltry. He actually, I believe, won one of the Disney Lorcana challenges, and this thing is awesome. I'm such a huge fan of this material. In all honesty, if I had to say, if I felt anything close to a V1, this would probably be it. The material is so nice. It's really soft. It has like a nice backing on it where the mat is not like stiff like cardboard, like you can crumple it up and it's not going to do anything. I love the color scheme. I'm also a big fan of the theme, just because like I'm a Disney guy, so it's just really cool to see something like this on a mat. This one I think cost me $60. Yeah, I think it was like 60 bucks. And honestly, for 60 bucks, I would buy so many of these if they were this material moving forward. So if Joshua, you see this, good job on this, dude. This is so awesome. It's honestly one of my favorites. I play on this thing all the time. Great work. And if anybody is looking to pick up anything from Josh in the future, just know in confidence that you're getting a quality item. So let's see here. All right, so the next one that you guys are gonna see here is probably one of the brands that's being talked about the most right now, and there's a lot of reason as to why that is. This is an Yggdrasil from Yggdrasil Materials. This mat
is honestly really nice. I would not expect to pay the price point I pay for this thing. The material is great. I think most people would probably compare it to something like a V2 if I had to take a guess. But in all honesty, like I've touched a V2 and I've touched this, and I think I honestly prefer this over the V2. I love the backing. The backing's great. It has that same like V2 backing, I guess you could say. And these are non-stitched. They are laser cut as well, so they do have like that really precise cut to them. And from what I've heard, the person who runs Yggdrasil is very, very picky about the products that he releases. So he has a very strict, what's the word I'm looking for? Like he's very strict about the type of stuff that goes out. He doesn't want people to think that he just like releases a bad product, I guess. Also too, you can notice that even though this one is laser cut, just like the Spellgrounds V8, this one doesn't have that like burn mark on it, which is really nice. The edges are not as bad or as like stiff, I guess, as the V8, which is also really good. And this thing doesn't fold like cardboard, which is nice too, because I don't know, that's the one thing that turns me off to that one V8 that I showed you, the lavender one. I love the design of it. I love the color scheme. It looks really good. I mean, as you can tell, I'm a big fan of Yggdrasil. I have a lot of their stuff here. And I'm probably going to be a returning customer, honestly, for the foreseeable future. I would say if you can get your hands on one of these just to try it out, you definitely should pick one up. These are priced at, I think, about $58, $59. So they're actually, I think, the cheapest on the market for what you can get. And yeah, you can tell that they just have really good quality control is the word I was looking for. But you can just tell that they take a lot of pride in their quality. The bags, even the Ziploc bags, are kind of nice. Like everything that they do is nice. The cards are like cardboard; they're not paper like some other people. Yeah, man, these things are awesome, and I definitely feel that if you are going to get a 2-player cloth mat or a cloth mat moving forward, you should definitely look into Yggdrasil. These are honestly one of the best things you can buy. It's a really good bang for the buck, and the company's awesome. I really love their stuff. So that's Yggdrasil. And then I have one more for you guys here. Ready? Okay, so the last one here I have is from a new company coming out called Memento Mori. This is their Clove colorway, okay? And the one thing I will say, first off, before I move, is I love the card. Okay, the art is super sick. It has like that really old school classic Goosebumps feel to it. The only thing I don't like is that it feels really cheap. And I mean, I'm not trying to say this to like bash or anything like that. I just wish it was like on actual cardboard. But it feels like it was kind of just printed off of a printer. I feel like this would be super cool to have as like a art piece or something you can like hang up. That would be so dope. So I don't know, constructive criticism. Next thing, this is the mat here. Okay, I will say I do like the art. Okay, I'm a big fan of the art. I really like it. I also like the ink that they used. It's almost like reflective. I don't know if you can kind of see that in the camera.
Yeah, you definitely can.
But the ink is really cool. I've actually never seen that on any other map before. So that was definitely one of the things that hit this out of the ballpark for me. And it's honestly one of the things that really sticks out, just so you guys can kind of get the full image of it. But this is pretty much what the art looks like, or the art that they decided to move forward with. Now, I will say, I believe Memento is actually the newest one, or one of the newest ones to come out. I don't believe these are laser cut. They don't feel like they are. And so you can see that on the edging. It is a little rough here, which is not a huge problem. Although sometimes when the edges are not laser cut like this, they can start fraying. So that is something you do have to be worried about. So just note. The only other thing is that the mat material itself, I'm still so like 50-50 on it. Like it doesn't really have any pile or drag or anything like that, but the material almost feels, and for lack of a better term, it almost feels like playing on a ShamWow. I really don't know how else to explain the material. It's a little bit like leathery, if that's like the best description for it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then also too, you can see that you know, I don't know if maybe they were just in a rush or something like that, but the quality control on these is probably just not as good as some of the other mats. I don't know what happened to this thing, but it has like the biggest, if it's a cut or like a thread or something, I have no clue. But I received a mat like this, and honestly, I'm too lazy to like reach out and make a big deal about it, so I just never really said anything.
This mat does
to Memento
flaky.
The other thing is that this mat does like hold like particles like this right here. I don't even know where that's from.
That's from this.
But yeah, this mat does hold stuff on it, so it does get like a little dirty sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I think this one cost, I want to say it was like $60, 60 or 65 if I remember correctly. And yeah, I mean, that's really my biggest thing about it. It's just like, it really didn't seem like the quality control was all that great, which I mean, for a new company, I can understand if maybe they're just overwhelmed with orders. You know, things happen. I'm not super hurt about it or anything like that, but it's just I would feel that if I was starting up a company or something like that, I would want everything to be perfect. But yeah, that's Memento. So yeah, guys, thanks for checking out the video. I appreciate you. I appreciate you looking, and if you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to write down in the comments below. Also, feel free to subscribe. We should be putting out some Lorcana content pretty soon. That's probably going to be the main focus of the channel. And yeah, that was pretty much it. See you guys later.